Night Owl, of course, and there's my rough. I mean, this was one of the costumes that was perhaps changed rather more than some for the movie, and I think absolutely rightly, because it was making reference to the kind of Batman and Robin era of movies, and this looks like it could have stepped out of one of those movies. And plus, you know, the kind of cloth costume that I drew Night Owl in, you could see by the way the Minutemen were dressed in the movie that it would have looked a little bit old and would have been a bit confusing. I think this is a fantastic costume, and actually having seen Patrick Wilson, being in the room with him wearing this costume, is so impressive, you know, to stand next to this big heroic character. I think, like all the actors, he completely inhabited the role, you know, he was just the way I imagine Night Owl being, just a nice kind of friendly personality.
Yeah, I think they called the characters so well.
Yeah, yeah. And again, the colouring kind of survives. I mean, they made him kind of nearly all brown, but he's still got the right feel with a touch of gold in his waist and everything. So, yeah. Maybe you can flip. Is this another one where we're going to see?
Yes, it is.
This is fantastic. I mean, I have to say that for me, to see the movie is incredible, because it's the movie that I ran in my head when I was drawing it. But to actually see the owl ship, which is a real object in the world, to actually be inside the owl ship, to sit in the chair, and there are all the controls, and there even on the side of the dash is a little picture of the original Night Owl that he's signed to Dan Dryberg, so he's got this as his little thing when he drives along. It was just so surreal, and they actually had it the Hollywood premiere of Watchmen at the end of the yellow carpet, because obviously it was a yellow carpet, not a red carpet. They had the owl ship there, all tricked out in the middle.
And we also had it at one of the Warner booths in San Diego.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Not that any of us were allowed to go into the owl ship.
Well,
apart from Dave.
It was one of those, do you know who I am?
Yeah, because I actually found I had more success on Batman film sets.
Right.
Because I'm Mr. B. Wayne from DC Comics, and then I have ID to prove that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we should let you in. You do that at Watchmen, they're like, yeah, get in the queue.
So I think it's probably the whole set of these, isn't it? Do you want to go to the next one? Yeah. And as you can see, they're so accurate and so kind of competition. If you go back to the drawing, yeah, I mean, you know, we tried to put a variety of things up on the screens there, but in the movie, I think what's going to be the real good fun is when the DVD comes out. And believe me, this is one DVD that we're all going to, you know, I can't imagine a DVD collection being complete without Watchmen. Just because it's so much going to repay the kind of attention that people have paid to the graphic novel. Like you've seen the movie, you get the story. But I've now seen the movie 7 times, and I am still seeing stuff in there that I didn't notice before. So on the DVD, it's going to be like, I mean, I'm waiting for on the internet, the annotated Watchmen DVD, because I'm sure, you know, there's stuff that we can go through it frame by frame. And in the scene at the end where Ozzy is in front of all these screens, I mean, I spotted things on there. He's watching Mad Max on there, and there's all kinds of stuff.
There's Warner Cartoons.
Yeah.
The MTV logo from that period keeps popping up.
Yeah, and they did run a contest for people to produce their own ads for Vite industry products. So I think that's going to be an absolute bonanza for the detail freaks.
No, for my part, I was talking to the buyer at Borders and Barnes and Noble and stuff. I said, now you understand, when people buy this DVD, they're going to have a remote control in one hand and a copy of the book in the other. And all you have to do is remind them that they don't have to get their book down off the shelf if you buy a DVD and a book at the same time. And I actually think I convinced a couple of people.
I was surprised. I was talking to Mark Buckingham, who some of you know, the artist, and he lives in Spain. And he saw Watchmen in Spain in Spanish, and he still enjoyed it. But there were people in the audience there, he said, who had their copies of Watchmen actually at the movie, leafing through it as the movie played.
Yeah. No, I saw that in Manhattan. I went to a screening because I wanted to see a screening with the public as opposed to seeing it, you know, with a fan group or a DC staff or a press screening. And there were, I guess, 2 or 3 people that I could see you know, as the lights came down, that literally were looking at the book and like had like Post-it notes for things they were going to be looking for in the movie, and it was just like, wow.
I mean, I really don't think. I mean, you know, the movie isn't perfect, and I don't think actually the graphic novel is perfect. But I don't think there has ever been a movie in which such effort has been made to be true to the wishes of people that, you know, who this room represents. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by the lengths they've gone to be faithful to it. So I really do think that when the DVD comes out, it's going to be, you know, the must-have item.
Really,
and I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying it's going to sell.
I am.
Whenever I've sort of talked to people about the movie, and everyone I've spoken to really has been very positive about it. And I'm a huge fan of the movie and the book. But the thing I've told people, and it's like said to people who haven't, I've seen the book and the DVD, or the DVD to come out, will be companion pieces because they really do reflect each other so well. I mean, the nice thing about the movie is like the multiple layers, as Dave was saying. There's so many layers you can look below, exactly the same way you can in the book. So I think it's superb. I'm a huge fan.
Next. Maybe you could go this yeah. And is there any more of that? Oh, no. Okay, go back. Yeah. So this is the final colour version. This looks like it's from the Absolute edition, does it, John? I think.
No, I don't think it is actually.
No. Anyway, I mean that is one of the iconic images. Which again, I mean, I just love John's colour palette now because actually it's blue, purple, and yellow, really, isn't it? Which
I think when I sort of did this, I mean, we really did want to make it feel European, and these are the colours that I used to sort of see in the French albums. As it sort of went further into the story, it actually became more the Watchmen colour palette rather than the European palette. But this is the roots of where the Watchmen palette came from. You know, really, very striking, reflective colours.
And this is my sort of pencil drawing that it was all drawn. And again, I go into it in quite a lot of detail in the Watchmen book, which I won't try and sell that to you either. But I hope most of you have got that. I've got it on your birthday list or whatever. And but what I used to do was pencil the whole thing out to this level before I inked it in. And my pencil would just be kind of linear like that. So I didn't indicate all the blacks, but I would just make sure that as a linear drawing it worked. And then
How come there's still pencils?
Huh?
How come there's still pencils? You were going to go with that?
Yeah, but I Xeroxed everything.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, almost everything. Because I don't know, I think at one point, this was the first issue, I think I actually sent Alan the pencils just to make sure that I was doing what he had in mind. And then I invariably was, so I didn't want to do it after that. But yeah, so I penciled the whole thing to that kind of finish, and then I ink on top of that. So.
How is that watching the Watchmen book? Is that at the Forbidden Planet stand out in the corner?
I believe they've got a special on it at the moment.
You know, that is an astounding coincidence.
Is it?
I mean, if they would put a stand right there in this hotel.
What, with that very
With that very book
So
on.
you mean that people could hear me talk about it,
Yeah.
and then they could actually go out, and if they haven't got one,
They would be able to
they could
purchase
buy
one
for money.
themselves.
They could buy one.
Yeah, that is
There's a suggestion.
It is.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's just the way
It
things
is.
work
It's
out.
Watchmen. It's coincidence, serendipity. It's supernatural. You might think there was magic at work, but this is really. I found it really interesting when I unearthed all my sort of notes and sketches. But for a long, long time, Alan and I were wedded to the idea that Rorschach would have a full-body blot suit, and that he would appear like some kind of flasher. You know, you'd be doing bad things in an alley, and like Watchmen, like Rorschach would slouch along in his coat, and open his coat like this, and you just reel back in horror from it. It would have looked so ridiculous when I think about it. It would have been such a nightmare to draw. And I'm really pleased that we settled in on it just being his face.
See, there was a convention that we were at this year where I thought about that concept when they gave us, I don't know if you got one of these badges as a special guest, but see, for WonderCon it said WC exhibitor. And I I thought of that drawing when I
Yes,
saw that on the badge, really
yeah,
not.
yeah. That's actually from Bob's Police.
Yeah.